know there's been a lot of talk about unethical AI, and I'm there for it. I don't want new emerging tech to be untested and have greater consequences than intended, even if the market lines and intentions are supposedly pretty good. What I am experiencing right now is my reasonably trained Claude is helping me bring my thoughts and what I've written and presented a few weeks ago into a letter, into a video script, and it's actually really helping me access my deeper emotions of grief that I haven't felt in some weeks. And because it's Matariki coming right up this weekend, the theme of Matariki, which for those of you who are not familiar, it's Māori New Year, and it's not pegged to the Gregorian calendar as most of us know it. It's rather pegged to the rising of the Matariki star cluster, or as is more widely known, the Pleiades. Pleiades, yes. And it's a time to remember and honor those who have passed, those who have lost. And I'm writing about my aunt who passed earlier this year, 2026, and some years before my grandmother, her mother. Yeah, and I'm looking at an image of my aunt. A photo of my aunt at her funeral in Los Angeles. And just refining and editing what I'm about to share. So it's heavy, and I'm here for it because, as I'm going to share, I don't think that most of modern society, certainly in cities, and those of us who have left our home villages and also forgotten our indigeneity or our traditional ways of holding praise, grief, and joy together, that's been lost, that we share from that. And it's so much in the brain, so much about what we do and accomplish rather than from the internal world. And so this has been part of the whole principle, the kaupapa of what I'm putting out with Letters at Dawn. It's always an open invitation to go inward, what's really here, what we're not sharing, what we're not feeling or have access to. And even if it's the internet, written words on a Substack and a video, allowing that to marinate a little. Maybe people in their own time, seeds that are planted that could sprout later or not at all, but all I can do is share my grief and my joys too, my truths, with no expectation, but certainly the hopes that it may move somebody, because it's certainly moving something within me. Okay, back to the preparations. Atamare te whānau, Manawatia, Matariki. Good morning, everyone. Chausan taika. Happy Matariki. It's a special day here in Aotearoa. It's a recently recognized public holiday, which long overdue in my opinion. And what's special about Matariki is that it's the time of the year I see as the depths of winter and it's also when the Pleiades star cluster rises above the horizon again, and we're able to see it after losing sight of it as it dips below the horizon over winter solstice and comes back out. This morning, actually, before dawn, the ritual, the ceremony is to gather as whānau, family, as hapori, as community. We gather on fire, sing waiata songs. We name the people that we've lost in the past year, honoring them, recognizing their presence. Yeah, just remembering who we've lost. And what I've heard from other people, it's also a really good time to reflect on the past year, what's happened in your life, what needs letting go, what can be, in the words of a good friend, Erica, what can be composted. So put back into the ether, let go energetically, maybe literally, figuratively in the Matariki, in the fruit growing garden, what can be composted for renewal, because the days are getting longer. We're still in winter, but yeah, seeds can be planted, figuratively, literally, for this new year. I really see this as the real new year here, especially in the Southern Hemisphere. It doesn't make sense to me to follow the Gregorian calendar. And also, just as importantly, if not more so, I see myself as a newcomer to Aotearoa, as tauiwi, someone who's not Māori, to learn about and adhere to the customs of this whenua, this land, and listen to mana whenua, tangata whenua, the people who hold authority and knowledge of this land, and really bring that tradition to life, and be a good ally, be a good supporter of that, and also find what's of value to me, as someone who grew up in two different worlds, balancing the Hong Kong Cantonese heritage and traditions, and then this like mixed cauldron of 90s, 2000s Americanism, as I'll call it. But yeah, here I am, calling this place home. We're here in the beaches of Ōtautahi Christchurch, facing east. So this very dawn, just a few hours ago when I was with the community. Yeah, even before first light, and now at the beach, watching the sunrise, having seen the star cluster, Matariki, Pleiades star cluster rise. Yeah, it feels extraordinary. And this year, the loss in my life has been my aunt, my kute, as I would call her. In Cantonese, my native language, we have specific terms for your position in the greater family. For a paternal younger aunt, we would call her kute. So we don't really address our elders, especially by their names. We address them by their place in the whānau, in the family. My kute, Aunt Stella, has been a really big part of my life, and in our family's life, because it was her and my uncle, my kujang, Uncle Clarence, who had a conversation with my parents just over 40 years ago, before I was born, and they essentially invited my mom and dad to consider immigrating from Hong Kong to the US, to Los Angeles, California specifically, where they were already living. And my parents applied, and some 9 years later it was approved. And that's why the lives of, well, mine certainly, and that of my immediate family changed dramatically. And why I carry the accent that I do, the privileges that I have, the education that I have, and a lot of the knowledge and wisdom I've been bestowed, is because we made that move. It's been a big part of my upbringing. So I'm forever thankful for her and that invitation, remembering my kute and losing her which I feel like is an elder in the family, a story holder, knowledge that unfortunately I never got to fully dig into and ask her some deeper questions and capture that. So there's some certainly some sadness there. What I am really happy about is that in recent years I've gotten to have lunch with her more often than not when I visit Los Angeles, and we've just gotten a better relationship. And Guje, before she passed, was an avid reader of my newsletter, my creations, and almost with every newsletter she would respond with a short but sweet little check-in. Like, nice to hear from you, great to hear what you're up to, lovely to see that you're doing well, living well. Little things like that, but it goes such a long way. Yeah, especially as family. Especially as family who, some years after we moved to the US, we had drifted apart. So, yeah, there's I would say a lot of healing there. So yeah, honoring her and her legacy with her children, grandchildren, and ours. Yeah. Okay, give you the view of the Moana again as we close this out. Yeah, Tauiwi legacy kana. Ngā nui. Thank you for your time, and yeah, may this serene scene add to the serenity of where and when you're watching this. Hey, taikaho. Kia ora everyone again. So one last thing for me. A few weeks ago, I got to present something that I've been mulling on and diving pretty deep into in recent months, and I would say years. And it's about storytelling in the context of the story we tell ourselves, which I say is one of the most important stories that we ever tell. It really frames everything. So it was all online. The public version is now on YouTube. I've made a special enhanced fuller cut with additional commentary for the supporters here on Substack, and also patrons that I've moved over here on this platform. So I'd love to have your attention on it. I'm really proud of how I showed up, the depth in which I feel I've got to go to, the people who showed up, and the questions that were asked. Certainly felt like it stirs something within me and the people in the room. So I look forward to any commentary and questions that will be stirring up from this. Thank you again for your time. Ngā mihi nui, lo te lei, hatikin.